say this, I mean, be your most authentic self. Your individuality and authenticity is an asset. So show your employers why they hired you. Show them how you are an addition and a benefit to this company. Understand your values and your virtues and your worth, and use them to your advantage. What's up, and welcome back, y'all, to the Right Number Podcast, where we talk about everything self-analyzing, reflecting, and correcting to show up as our best and most authentic self every day on purpose. I'm the host, Armani LaDale. I'm a 22-year-old college graduate, grad student, child of God, all the above, you guys know. And I hope y'all enjoy today's conversation as we are in part 2 of the Young and Professional series. And I really think y'all are going to enjoy this episode. Like, I enjoyed writing this episode, so I really hope y'all enjoy this episode. But before we get into it, let's go ahead with our prayer. Thank you for another day, Lord, and thank you so much for the blessings that we see every day and the blessings that we don't see, Lord. Thank you for allowing me to use this platform to help people that I desire and help people that are willing to grow, Lord. Please unharden everyone's heart, Lord. Unharden my heart and let my words reflect what your will is, Lord, today. Let the listeners' ears be open to your will and to your love and to your grace, so they'll never take it for advantage, Lord. Thank you so much, and I pray that everything that is meant to be done today is done. Amen. So we're going to jump right into the mental health check. I am like a 7. I don't know. I've been like mad emotional lately. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's coming from somewhere, and I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm trying to sit with myself a little bit to try to navigate through these emotions. Which is another reason why I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful that God put this like series on my heart, because there's so many other emotions that I have to tend to that I'm not comfortable talking about while I'm in them. So the fact that he gave me this young and professional series to talk about something that I'm familiar with, for one, that I have a lot of opinions on, for two, and that I can help other people and guide other people through, while being able to still cater to the emotions that I'm feeling right now, is like such a blessing. And I honestly was like gonna not put out an episode last week, and you know how that go. Don't put out one, you're not gonna put out 2, and then you 3 weeks down the line, 5 weeks down the line, and you ain't got nothing out. So I'm really happy that he put this on my heart to share with you all. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into today's topic. Today's recent reflections, of course, is still on the young and professional. However, we are doing an emphasis on work stress and relationship struggles. And before we get into that, when I say relationship struggles, I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about relationships with yourself, relationships with your peers, and with your coworkers. Because this is what I'm learning. This is the stage in life we're at right now. So yes. To give you guys a little background on the last episode, if you guys weren't able to, please go back and watch the first episode. But we talked about accepting different personalities, the willingness to grow, and efficiency. And those are the 3 main points I feel like were discussed in last week's episode. So now we're going to go ahead and get a little deeper into those topics. Just knowing, like, when we are in the workforce, whatever company we are working at, whatever business we are at, we have a standard and a duty to handle our responsibilities correctly. And a lot of times, just trying to do that a little too hard can burden us. Those burdens that we put ourselves through could have us experiencing self-doubt. It can have us experiencing imposter syndrome. We can even feel like we're unworthy of a position, or we are undeserving of a role. And with this, I also have experience with, and it can be an internal factor, and it also can be external factors. So I'm going to touch on both of those factors really quick, just so we can all see what that looks like. So a few internal factors that can take a place in burdening us when we're in a workforce, or when we first starting off into our careers or into our jobs after college or what have you, is the feeling of unpreparedness. And for me, I'm like a perfectionist. I don't know about y'all, but I have like this problem with trying to be perfect and needing to be prepared. And like, I just be like, I just graduated, but I'm not ready to be a psychologist yet. I just graduated, but I'm not ready to do therapy yet. I mean, I don't even have my master's yet, but like I just felt like I was not prepared. Like I felt like, wow, college did not teach me a lot. When ultimately it did. Sometimes we just overthink. Like if I didn't go to college, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to y'all. So don't discredit yourself. You grew some. Another feeling that goes with that feeling of unpreparedness is feeling underqualified. And a lot of times it's like, wow, I have this job, but I just got lucky, or I just got pulled, I just got plugged. It's just who I know. It's just, you know how it is always, people always say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But like, that is literally it. It's not what you know, it's who you know, and that helps you get there. And something that my dad used to always tell me, which is it's not off topic, I know I get off topic, but something that my dad always used to tell me was, apply for the jobs that you feel like you don't qualify for. Because sometimes they're just looking for somebody to fill that spot, and they can teach you on the way. That is the goal, for you to learn what you're doing. When you first start driving a car, you know it just enough to pass your test. But when you get on the road after you driving your car, you still have some hiccups. Oh, you didn't ran a red light, you didn't turn on a red, and they say don't turn on red. You learn as you go. So just understanding that process is very important, so you don't have these feelings. Another internal factor that I feel like affects a lot of people is letting their past determine or dictate their future. And I have an episode that I did a few weeks, like my first year of podcasting, on just leaving the past in the past. And I'll probably end up redoing this episode just because I've learned a little more. But yes. So when we let our past dictate, oh, I couldn't do this back then, or I tried this before and it didn't work, or I wasn't smart here, or the last time I did this, it didn't work out, or whatever, like whatever the past is that's holding you back, or I don't deserve this because I did this before. A lot of stuff that God blesses us with, we don't deserve. First of all, we don't even deserve breath. Like, anyway, but like, for real though. So a lot of times we aren't deserving, but we have it. So be grateful. Now, some external factors that I've experienced and that I've also researched and saw that other people experience is people not taking them serious. And when I say this, for me, at least from experience, I had a situation where a superior, they made me feel inferior. So they made me feel really, really little. And it was just like, wow. Like, this how people talk. And I mentioned this a little bit before. Like, you know, how people talk to you, you don't really do anything to deserve it. And that's when that aspect of just understanding that what they're doing is a reflection of them, not you. But you are going to experience some people that have been in the position or been in the company longer than you that feel like they're obligated to have this authority over you. Now, some people do have authority over you, so you have to kind of decipher if you are having, or do you have a problem with authority, or is this person really picking with you? And it's like okay, can I grow from this, or there was no point in her saying that at all? Is this something we can work on, or were you just trying to belittle me? So it's a mind thing. You have to really be real with yourself and be like, okay, do they have a point? If they have a point, chew the meat, spit the bone out, or whatever they say. Take what you need and throw the rest out. Keep it cool. Keep it pee. Okay? Let me stop playing. But yeah, just keep it cool. Take what you could take what you could chew, and spit the rest out, for real. The next external factor is a little similar to the internal factor, but instead of you judging yourself by your past or hindering yourself from your past, you're letting other people do that. So another personal experience would be just the transition I had from student to employee at the university. A lot of people that I went to school with are still there, and I now have like some form of authority over them. And it's a little hard for a lot of people to accept that, or they still see me as Armani and not Miss Graham, if that makes sense. And sometimes these people approach you like that, or sometimes people expect things out of Armani, but you are not in that role. You are in your now Miss Graham mode. You feel me? So it's really and that has nothing to do with them, because that's just what they're familiar with. They're familiar with you in that light. But the way we look at it can be like, we'll take it and be like, okay, wow, this was like blatant disrespect, or this was just, you really like, you did not utilize the position I hold. I'm in this position. I need you to see me at this position. And sometimes we kind of overstep boundaries. It feels like, okay, when we constantly are reminded that, hey, this person knows Armani and not just Miss Graham, it's like, dang, should I even be here? Like, you're second guessing. And if you're not doing that, hey, I'll be the only one to let y'all know. I second guess myself. I'm like, wow, okay, I'm Miss Graham, really, but these people know me for real. And it's not even like anything bad about knowing me. It's not like I just have the worst reputation or anything, but it's just a big shift and a big change that you have to be okay with and that you have to enforce. You have to demand your respect. Now, a few reminders to help you kind of navigate that area where you feel like you're still in this battle with if you belong, or if you are, capable of these things, or if you are worthy of the position that you now hold, are you aren't 100% prepared. Understand that you are very much so unprepared. You are not ready. And just like I told y'all a few podcasts ago, just like I told y'all a few weeks ago, you have to be ready to get ready. Like I told you, you are not, when you pass your driver's test, you still don't really know how to drive for real. You're not familiar with all the highways, the freeways, the back roads. You're not sure when you you have a few things to go. Like, if you are willing to learn and grow, you will be okay. That's why when you have these jobs and they ask, are you willing to grow? Are you teachable? They need to know these things because they're hiring you. Just like, okay, so even if you're not working like necessarily in your field, right? I used to work at the airport. I used to take luggage on and off the plane, hook up the air and the water. I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. I knew nothing about it, but I had to go in there and get taught. See, now when we graduate college and we're in like a career that feels like it's close to our passion, or we're in a job that we feel like is close to our career or aligned with our passion, we kind of feel like, oh no, I'm not ready for that. Like, we kind of are hesitant, and it's kind of like self-sabotage in a way because people know you're not ready. You have to be trained. College is just for background information. The real work comes in after graduation. And you have to really, really be grateful and take advantage of where you are at. And we're going to get into that in the next episode as far as just rushing your passion and rushing your quote-unquote dream. Because in a lot of times we can find ourselves being ungrateful. We find ourselves having anxiety attacks because we are rushing something and we are exactly where we need to be. Now, my next reminder would be, do you want to be where you were, or do you want to be where God is envisioning you to be? If you are too busy worried about your past and what you did and who you were with and all these other things, that's where you're going to be at. In La La Land, reminiscing. And somebody got to be real. Like a lot of times people aren't real. Like, okay, yeah, it's cool to miss the past. Do not miss the past. And I got a scripture for that, but that ain't even the biblical backup for today. But do not reminisce on the past, you all. Like, really, really, it is so much more. If you think you had fun back then, wait until next year. Wait until tomorrow. Okay? It's going to be eventful. Now, for me, I lived a life, okay? I had a nice college career, and I was very spontaneous, and I was, like, spicing it up. And I used to just throw little stuff in for the fun of it. Like, yo, let me spice up a little something. Let me do a little something. And I don't want to do that no more because that's careless, spontaneous nonsense. I'm still spontaneous, but it's careful instead of careless. So the responsibilities don't come and bite me in my behind. But I still have a ball with my professional quote on. But yeah. So yeah, if you want to be where God envisions you, and I promise you, anything that God has envisioned for you is so much better than anything you could have ever imagined. So honestly, that's enough for me. Like, I don't even need no more like convincing. If y'all need more convincing than that, amen. Holla at Big G.O.D. because I don't know what to tell you. Okay, and the next reminder would be to understand and just accept the fact that hurt people hurt people. If you feel like somebody at your job is not respecting you or giving you the respect you feel like you've earned, they are hurting. Rather it's them feeling like you too good to be in that or they feel like you're too good and you might take their spot, or if they just feel like, yo, I think I know best. I want control over this and I want best and you're in the way. Like, you may be just getting hit in the crossfire, somebody's battle with themselves. So please do not take this stuff personally, okay? It's nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Next I have a lot of reminders for y'all. But the next reminder, and it's the last one, is just to accept criticism, okay? Just because you are critiqued does not mean somebody is implying that you are incapable. They're just stating that improvement needs to be made, and you would not be in the position you are in if they did not believe that improvement, that you were willing to improve, or that you were capable of the job they hired you for in the first place. So understand that and just truly believe in yourself. You are exactly where you need to be. Allow yourself time to grow. You're gonna mess up. They're not gonna quit on you as soon as you mess up one time. As long as you are showing capability and willingness to grow, you're absolutely fine. And we are also going to get into that professional development. I think it's the next episode, y'all. I think I said the last episode. But the next episode, we're on professional development real bad, okay? Now, the next thing that can contribute to like the workplace stress and relationship struggles I have for you guys is the next tip, is to build intentional relationships with your coworkers. Y'all, okay, and before I even get into that, y'all know how, like, you'll work your first little job at McDonald's or Popeyes or whatever. Mine was Popeyes. Well, it was the hair shop, but then, like, my official job where I got paid, it was Popeyes. And I used to go in there and be like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to get my check and leave. Like, I was one of them. I'm here to work my hours and leave. That's how I was. And eventually I had to get out of that, okay? Because I spent too much time over there and not to be talking to nobody. But no, for real. When you are actually like I don't even think this is a tip just for if you're in your career field. Because I'm not even technically in my career field, but this helps me build some character for what I want to do. But this is with any job, because like I said, at the airport I did this. But you want to build intentional relationships. You never know what could benefit from that. And it's not just one-sided. And I know a lot of people like, well, I don't want to be using nobody. And it's not necessarily using somebody, but if you want to be 100% truthful, we all are using people. Now, is your intentions good or bad is the only thing. That's what I feel like it differentiates the two. Is your intentions good or are they bad? Because that fast food mindset where you're just trying to get your check and get up out of there, you're not gonna ever grow, bro. That's not it at all. So when you build intentional relationships with your coworkers, you are building trust, right? You are building connection. They can help you out, that vouch for you. Say you do mess up and you have a really good connection with one of your coworkers, that person can vouch for you. That person can help you. That person can guide you and let you know, okay, look, our supervisor don't even like stuff like that. I would not do that. I don't care if you do it right now, but when they hear, don't do that. Like, they can be real with you. Now, it depends on how you take it. If you kind of small-minded and you get really defensive really easily, it may be harder for you. But just let that go and understand these people are here to help you. They've been here a little longer. They letting you know the ins and outs. Like, they let you know this time at Popeyes, when this manager here, you can grab you a little wing or something. But when this manager here, don't do nothing. You get what I'm saying? So it kind of works in every job. I'm sorry. It kind of works at every job, but for real, intentional relationships. And I like to make it a habit to, like, not get all in their business. Like, ooh, how was your man today? Like, how was your night? Like, not like that. But I do nice things for my coworkers. I bring them cookies, or I have intentional conversations with them. I ask them how their family is. I ask them how their kids are doing. I build a relationship, because you never know who you're talking to, and neither do they. You might end up needing their help one day, and they might end up needing yours. You never know who was going to leave the company in 2 years and own a multi-million-dollar business. You never know who's going to leave the company and go to the doggone White House. Like, you never know. Like, so you really want to build those connections and be able, and then also not just for your gain, but for their gain as well. What if you leave and you need assistance and you know somebody that was a great assistant at your job? You can help them come up. You get what I'm saying? So it's just always a benefit to just building relationships. So we have to get out of that stubborn, kind of stuck up vibe where we just want to get our money and leave, because that's not realistic. You're spending if you're in an 8 to 5, 9 to 5, you're spending your whole day with these people. Talk to these people. Get off your phone. Get off your phone and talk to these people, okay? Now, the third tip that I have for y'all is to do what you know how to do best. And when I say this, I mean be your most authentic self. Your individuality and authenticity is an asset. So show your employers why they hired you. Show them how you are an addition and a benefit to this company. Understand your values and your virtues and your worth, and use them to your advantage. If you are a creative person, if you are assertive, if you are helpful, trustworthy, whatever your values are, if you guys aren't sure what values are or what virtues are, look some up on Google and look at the list and see what you live your day by day by. What is your top 3 values and virtues? Because this is who you are. This is what you bring to the table. What can you bring? When you get employed, people ask you, what can you bring to my company? I'm a creative. I can do things and make things very creative. At my job, like I told you, I'm an academic advisor. I make schedules. I make sure they're academically on the right path. If they need any assistance or resources around campus, I'm there to give it to them. And I'm also there to give advice, and I make sure that they're comfortable there in their stay. And I try to go above and beyond. I'm a counselor sometimes, but but that's neither here nor there, right? But I make tips, like we have a bunch of different websites and software that they have to use. I'm creative, like I said, so I make cute layouts for them to understand what they're going to and why they need this program or why they need this resource. And I'm also a caring person, so I do check-ins every couple of weeks. I have a list of students who I know if they're struggling academically or struggling mentally, I check in on them. That's who I am. That's the asset that I bring to my company, because that is just who I am. If you are an assertive person, you are a leader, show them in the meetings, yeah, I think we should do this. I've seen this wrong here, and I think we need to fix it just like this. If you're a problem solver, if you're a critical thinker, figure out what your values are and what your virtues are and show them. And just don't hide behind it, but actually put it to the forefront for your employers to see. And again, we're going to talk about this a little in the next episode, but talk to your supervisor about them. If you're a little too shy, just let them know, hey, I'm comfortable here. I can do this, I can do that, but I want to know how to kind of let it out a little more. How can I do that? It's nothing wrong with asking for help. Now, before we end, we going into our biblical backup, y'all. So today we are out of Romans chapter 12, verse 6 through 10. We have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance with your faith. If it is serving, then serve. If it is teaching, then teach. If it is to encourage, give encouragement. If it is giving, then give generously. If it is to lead, do it diligently. If it is to show mercy, do it cheerfully. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling what is to good, and be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. So to me, this obviously is telling you, own your gift and use it for good. And in Ecclesiastes, I think it's chapter 3, verse 6 through 9, it talks about just a time when there's a season for this, a time for this, a time for that, a time to love, a time to hate. And I really, really feel like that time to hate is what it's saying here. Hate what is evil and cling to what is good. Understand that if you don't like somebody at work, or if you're having a problem with somebody at work, or you hate the fact that you're not treated right, don't hold on to that hate towards that someone. Hate the fact that you aren't treated for your position and cling on to what is good. What's good is your position. So use your position and push out that hate, if that makes sense. So if you are just extremely upset with the way things are flowing at work, or if you are upset with just the stresses of work, or you're upset with just the overload of stuff, or you're feeling burnt out, you're upset with it, use that fuel to produce something good, right? Use that fuel to create and birth something beautiful. it's a lot of stuff at work that we go through that stresses us out. Like I said, we experience burnout, we experience sleep deprivation, like, so it's a lot of things that I did not touch on, but these are just a few things that I feel like mentally that we go through just in that transition from college to professionalism. I feel like, or I kind of understand more about that, right? Now, in my job, honestly, there's like every job has their load of stress, and everybody's job is different, which is why I didn't want to touch on just specifics on my job, or every job has its own downfall, but it's up to you to make the best of it, right? So let's go ahead and do that and move intentionally to do so, y'all. I really, really hope y'all enjoyed this episode today. I really am excited for the next episode, and I hope you guys are too. I thank you all so much for tuning in, and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And if nobody has told you today, I love you. Bye.